So today we're going to continue Paul Potassy, and really this is the last of the Paul Potassy we're going to look at, last of the showpieces, the real big guns from him. And it's all great magic. All the magic we've been looking at from him, it's all stuff that he's clearly performed hundreds, if not thousands of times. And everything's worked to the nth degree. And I think these routines reflect a lot of that. And I think the more of the lesser known items, they're not the real show items. So it's cool. Let's take a look at this and we'll talk about it on the other side.
All right, let's do it.
Excellent. Perfect.
I have here a pad and a pencil.
Yes.
Magic is a good job. You can get close to the ladies.
Just don't creep him out, man.
I know he's bordering on the 1970s creeper.
Oh, no.
I always wondered though if I had an accent, if it would make my magic better.
I wrote something down here.
I've thought that before too.
A message. Don't laugh, it might be serious.
I know, I'm so afraid of.
Where's my glass? Somewhere down here. We're going to put this paper and the message in the glass. Now, I want you, please, to just pick a card. One. Okay? Look at it. Show it only to this half of the room.
This?
Don't show it to that half.
This half.
Yes? I hope the camera has seen it. Put the card back. Shuffle.
Okay.
Frank, you have not seen the card. Madam, you have not seen the card.
No.
Fantastic. If you've seen it, it's also fantastic. Frank, you will tell me, please, any number, let's say between 1 and 10.
7.
7.
Yes.
Put your hand forwards. You put the cards on here. Put your hand on top. What do you say, Frank? Do you like?
Well, the cards are in the way.
Oh my.
Your card was a black card.
Correct.
Your card was clubs.
Yes.
Was it a female?
Was it a female?
Yes.
No.
No? Then it was a number, an even number. It was a 10 of clubs. Correct?
Yeah.
You said 7. You said 7. Without that, I was able to touch your hands. Card number 7 will be her 10 of clubs. Count.
Count?
Yes, you, one by one. Face up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Show. Whoa! And now I will prove to you I know everything in advance, because before we started the trick, I wrote something down on this piece of paper, and it says 10 of clubs. Thank you.
It's pretty good. He gets a lot out of a very simple idea, right?
I was going to say that is squeezing all the juice out of the lemon right there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And it's very, very old school technique to get there, to do all that stuff that he's doing. And it's, I think it's lovely. I think it's lovely. And notice that he had that moment of mentalism in there. Like he totally got it wrong on purpose when he said it was a lady. And so that everyone goes, oh, you failed. And then he recovers. No, oh, it was an even card. It was a spot card. It was an even card. It was the 10.
It's, you know, this is one of those tricks that there's just a lot of air in it, and you can do so much with it.
Agreed.
You take it in so many different directions, and I think it suits this particular situation, people sitting around a table kind of a thing, really, really well, you know.
Agreed.
And I like the way you got into it too. It's a little different, you know. little different than I've seen that approach taken before.
Yeah. It definitely an old school way of going about all that, right?
Yeah. But I mean, that's okay. That's why we do this. You know what I'm saying? That's why we watch this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Just to see how it's been done before us. And speaking of which, this next one is one of these tricks. It's like just totally a classic of Magic.
Mhm.
And it, for me, at least, I don't know about for you, but for me, it took me like probably like 10 years, 15 years before I actually encountered this effect. I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil it. We should watch the thing and talk about it on the other side. But, you know, I'll be interested to see when you were exposed to this trick, because to me, it was always just this elusive thing that could be done, but I never saw anybody do it well.
All right.
You know?
I'm intrigued now.
Nice.
So for this mind readings experiment, I have here a deck of playing cards, which is from the United States. It says Aviator, Air Cushion Finish, USA.
Yes, it does.
And this deck of playing cards has 52 cards, no joker. I threw the jokers out. It had jokers when it came. This afternoon, before I came down here, I turned one card facing you, and 51 cards show the backs to you. Now, if I will say, you madam, you sir, and I will find out what card it is, all of you will say, now, this trick we understand. Paul spoke with the person before the show and said, please, when I say think this card, you think that card. That would be too easy. So therefore, we will make it a little bit at random. Madam, we have here a dice. And you can see, Scotty, try if that dice is not loaded, it does not always fall on the same side. Try again.
5 and 1. There's 2 different sides. There's a 5.
Try again.
Loaded. There's a 5.
Five, yeah, five. You're good. You should go.
Five.
It's like crabs or.
Yeah, yeah.
Oops.
I think he does it on purpose.
All right.
Okay.
Damn, someone should throw some money
So,
down.
we make it like this. We call you, madam, number 1. You are number 2. You are number 3. You are number 4. You are number 5. And you are number 6. We don't have more sides on this one, yes? Throw the dice. Wait a moment. Before you throw the dice, you, and you think one card.
Think one what?
Think a card.
A card.
Pensez à une carte. It was the same thing in French. Think a card. Now do me the favor, don't think the same card he's thinking. Neither should you think the same card. Neither, I want Frank to think the same card you're thinking. And now, Frank, you roll the dice.
Oh.
Oh, you rolled it too far.
Out of bounds.
4. Who is number 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. You thought the card.
I thought of a card.
Yes.
Correct.
Do you remember the card you thought?
Yes.
You do remember. Can you tell us all which is the card you thought?
7 of hearts.
No.
Just a moment. Just a happy accident.
You see,
I only use my powers for good.
I have here
Ellie,
this
calm
aviator
down.
deck,
I have that effect
and
on
all
women.
the cards in this deck are in one direction, except one only card, which is facing you, and is the 7 of hearts. I will, with your permission, turn my back to you. I go to turn another card in this deck. And after I've turned another card in the deck, I go to put the deck back in its box. And now we go to think again. Madam, throw the dice.
Okay.
2.
That's me.
That's you. Scotty, don't say, don't get excited. You thought a card, but that's already long ago. Would you like to change?
No.
No.
He thought about
You
that.
know.
He did.
Now I congratulate you because
Standing
if I
his
have
ground,
ever
man.
asked in my life a girl, would you like to change? They changed, and 6 times. Can you tell me the card which you thought of?
I thought of the 8 of diamonds.
You thought of the eight of
eight of
diamonds. Now this is very strange. Very strange, I tell you. Because this deck is all in one direction, except one only card, and this one only card is nothing else than the 8 of Thank you very much.
Great, right?
It's a bludgeoning.
It's a bludgeoning. It's just pure mind reading, and he's doing it with a simple thing that we all overlook.
This is brainwave deck.
It's the brainwave. It's the
And
brainwave.
I didn't use the brainwave. I used the opposite, which is the invisible.
Visible, the ultra
You know
mental.
what I mean? It's
Right.
kind of the same thing,
Yep.
but it's a fantastic trick. And people, I don't want to make any large assumptions. Okay.
Mhm.
But sometimes we think that it's not okay to use a gimmick,
Ah.
That-
I
that-
remember thinking like that in early
Yeah.
stages in Magic.
and then I think what happens is eventually you get to a point where you realize,
Whatever
You
it
know.
takes.
well, yeah, but the punch something like this has such a punch that you're silly. You're actually doing your audience a disservice. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you don't, because it's just so powerful. I did invisible deck, for a long time.
Totally.
That eventually, that was like a trick I learned probably in high school, probably.
Right. It's like when you get serious about Magic, it's usually one of the
Yeah.
first real big guns you get, right?
And it's one of the first ones you get that just blows people's minds.
Mhm.
If you learn it and you handle it right, it just really annihilates people.
You can't beat it.
Yeah, it annihilates them. And I'm always a fan of that.
So someone mentioned something in the chat about the language, and it's worth pointing out that he starts saying things in all these different languages. He was famous for being fluent in all those languages that he sort of teases in the beginning, and he could do the show in any one of those languages, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool thing,
Yeah.
that seems like for those that don't speak other languages, and really probably those that even speak another language, that's probably a magic trick in and of itself, right?
I
Just
can't
seeing the
even
guy bust out
imagine.
that much.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what that must be like or how you do that.
Right. I know bits and pieces of other languages, but I do not fluently speak another language. I had a friend that spoke fluent German, and he was from the United States, and he spoke a lot of Japanese. He was a basketball, traveled overseas, and
Mhm.
made his living playing on overseas teams. And he said that after living in Germany for like 5-6 years, now he dreams in German.
Oh my God,
Like that blew my mind. I was like, what? What does that even mean?
that's crazy.
Totally.
That is
So I can
so
only
crazy.
imagine what Paul Potassy's life must be or must have
Yeah,
been.
if you, it's amazing, really. But if you're looking for a good stand-up trick, card trick, that you can play parlor and maybe a little bigger, this or the invisible deck is definitely.
Agreed.
Yeah,
And it's really
definitely
like when you
something.
start doing any sort of platform magic or parlor magic, it's like one of the first ones that should be on the list, because it's what you said before. You can't beat it. Effect wise, it's as strong as a card trick gets. It's basically straight on mind reading, and it's super low tech in terms of what you have to do as a performer to make the thing play. So it's like a perfect thing when you need an extra 5 minutes in your show, when you're building a platform or parlor show. It's like necessary.
Oh, I think you should plan on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you should plan on using it. And the other thing too, and Paul does a great job of it here with the double take on it kind of a thing,
Yeah.
which I don't think I've ever seen anybody do, like a double take on it, like go right back to the well right after, and it seems to work for him really well. And I think it does because of that whole dice rolling proposition and
the brainwave method contributes to that, because you're only seeing backs ever, right? I think
Right.
invisible deck, you're going to see faces, and that might be a thing that gives someone a clue.
Maybe. I don't know. I think
Depends on what they pick, right? And how they come out of the card box.
well, invisible deck, I don't organize to the classic principle. I do it a different way.
Mhm.
But nonetheless, I think that most people, I don't think they're as familiar with playing cards as we are. I think a 6 goes by and an 8 goes by, and I don't think there's really any vibe. Like you or I would know which one went by. I think to them it's just a card.
I think if you're going to
some
do with an
level.
invisible deck, you just have to give it a quick chop.
Yeah, you
just
could
a
do
quick
that.
overhand shuffle so that the faces change on the face of the pack, so
Yeah,
that
you
there's
could do
no
that.
discrepancy.
Yeah.
And then I think you can do the same exact thing that Paul did, where you could do a second
I've
blast to the
seen
face, as it were.
I've seen a pretty famous magician come to town here
Mhm.
and do an invisible deck.
Mm.
So I don't want to mention who it is, okay? But
You'll tell
he
me
would
later,
come-
right?
Yeah, he would come every year, and we love him, but he does the same act every year, and I'm suffer from the same thing. And so they said, you can come back, you got to do something different. So what does he do? He gets a giant archery target, okay, with playing cards all over it.
Okay.
And then he goes through this whole thing, and then he shoots an arrow at it, picks a card, and reveals it with his leg.
Hey, you got a lot out of it, man. That's a
mean-
big production. That's something.
It was
Really?
awe-inspiring.
Yeah, that's really funny.
It was very, very funny.
That's really good.
Yeah, it is. It was really good. I look how much I still enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a memory. And I'm sure that, and you're an issue for folks that don't know anything about magic. They see a guy do something like that, right? He shot an arrow from the back of the room, and it was the card he predicted. I mean, that's a big effect, man.
It was
cool.
very smart. He threw the thing down, like he laid it down, and then he sprayed something on it. I don't know what. Then all the cards just like he threw them all down,
Okay.
like in randomness.
Okay.
So that and then he put the target up, and then he shot it.
Oh, like he put him down on the ground and set everything up, and then hung that thing up on the wall.
It was a few years ago. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. But so like there's a deck of cards. He put the target down. He sprayed something on it, probably some kind of spray adhesive, and then he laid all the cards out. So it was like all random on there, right? So
Some
you
are face
couldn't
up,
really
some are face down, and
Yeah, it's a big
okay.
mess. Exactly.
Gotcha.
And then he did it. Yeah, and it was.
That's
I'm
cool.
telling you, it was still.
And that seems like you have to have a little bit of archery skill, because he's got to hit a face up one, right?
Yeah, I mean that's not in my skill set.
Yeah, right. But the folks that I know that are archers, they like to mention that they're archers now and again, and that's a perfect
I
way to
think
do
they
it
do.
without mentioning it.
I think they're proud. I think
They are proud.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of work to hit a target. I understand. I'd want to show a picture every now and again if I did that, I think. Very funny. All right, well, let's get into this last clip. This one is again another one of those classics of magic that maybe you got to see someone do. The reality is you're never going to get to see anyone do it anymore because of the subject matter. You'll see, but
I'm
it's
almost
still just
afraid.
such a fooler and just a great showpiece, man. Let's get into this next one now.
For this little experiment, as I have here this small mug. I have as well here this deck of playing cards, correct?
Correct.
Normal deck of playing cards.
Yes.
Yes. You say so. You suppose so. Yes. And in my inside pocket, a crossword puzzle paper. Yes.
Yes.
It's, by the way, German crossword puzzle. How good are you in German crossword puzzle? No good at all. No. Okay. I need for this deck, ladies and gentlemen, a cigarette. Who of you does have a cigarette? You, Frank. Frank is the man who has everything. Give me one stick, please. Thank you very much. Can I ask you, please, to stand up? You. We put the cigarette here in this glass, and you will be the one who puts that glass over there on the table.
Okay. On the table, on the tray.
On the table, not on the tray. Thank you very much. You made a wonderful job. Now, we come to this deck of playing cards, which has 52 cards. and I will ask our newcomer, Deborah, you will be so kind and pick out one card. Take one. Huh? Look at it. This is a special trick because you can also show the card to me.
Now?
Yes. What is it? Oh, Queen of Diamonds, not bad. Can you show it, please, to the audience? Take it in your hand, please, like this. Yeah? And tear it up in the middle. She really did it. You do everything what people say to you?
Oh, God, no.
Okay, put the two pieces on top of each other. On top of each other, yes. And cut in 4 pieces.
Maybe I should disobey you.
Come on. Put the 4 pieces on top of each other and cut into 16 pieces. You didn't have your Wheaties to this morning.
No, but I have.
Throw those pieces on here. All of them. All of them. This one is not very well cut. Cut one more time, please. Work. Good. Thank you. We go to take out 2 pieces from here. 1, 2. Scotty, take one of those 2 pieces. This one. Okay. Hold it, please, like this in your right hand, like so we can see the piece.
Oh. Okay.
And put your elbow here on the table.
Okay.
Yes? You are so kind and hold this tray.
Yes.
And we go to take the crossword puzzle paper. Out of this one, we go to make, Deborah, a paper cone. You know how is paper cone called in Spanish? Cucurucho. She knew it! I can see we have a multilingual audience here. We have this little cucurucho, and we go to throw the pieces in. They were not very equal, some bigger, some smaller, but we go to throw them in. You watch me if I throw the pieces really in here. Yes?
Yes.
Are the pieces in here, Deborah?
Yes, they are.
Definitely they are.
They're in there.
They're in there.
No way!
They are gone.
Can I search you?
I tell you, when the pieces are gone, I'm nervous. And when I'm nervous, I have to smoke. I smoke very seldom, and I will smoke. Frank, may I smoke the cigarette you gave me?
Yes, you can.
You can. I go to take the cigarette. You, madam, put the cigarette in here and on the table. Out of this little mug. Good brand. Good brand. There's something wrong. Wait a moment.
No.
Wait a moment. In the cigarette,
Wait. Whoa.
there is a card. And this is exactly the Queen of Diamonds. All the pieces are together. Only one little piece is missing. Frank, try to see, hold it with your own hand, and try to see if it fits. It fits? That's the end! Thank you.
It's as good as it gets, right?
Yeah, lessons to be learned, right? I mean, here we go.
He's made everything so
a dupe.
clear.
It's a dupe.
There's beautiful
Obviously.
frames around each of those moments, so that when you go back in your memory to what happened,
It-
there's nothing to backtrack.
I just think sometimes we make stuff too hard for ourselves.
Agreed.
Just make it too hard,
Agreed.
you know? And I mean, there's a beautiful trick right there. You can't really do it anymore,
You
but
can't do that trick,
but you can do it
something
some
like
other
it.
way. Yeah, you can do some
something
other
like
way.
it. Yeah.
Seal it up in a pack of gum.
That's right.
You know
Something
what I
that's
mean?
relevant that people will care about.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It's a good trick, man. It's a good
It
trick. But there's
is.
something about the smoke, because it's fire, it's smoke. It's another object that people know because it's so commonplace. It's great. It's just so good. I remember the
Mhm.
first time I saw that in person, I did what those people were doing. I went, what? No. Felt
I
like
think-
my guts were spilling out on the table. What?
I think
How?
there's something like that in one of the Scarney books, I think.
Okay.
I think that's where I saw it the first time.
I saw Gary Kurtz do it in person the first time I saw it done, and he did it with a signed bill, and it
Mhm.
was outstanding, just outstanding. Like when you see an effect like that it does what the Bill and the Lemon does to people. It does,
Yeah.
it's the object to an impossible place, impossible.
I love the
location.
vanish.
It's great.
I love the vanish.
It's great.
That is just an awesome little utility vanish right there
Totally.
for something like that.
Yep.
You
Keep
know,
that one in
with-
your back pocket because it'll come up again, right?
yeah, that's a neat little thing there,
Yeah.
Very simple, very straightforward, doesn't seem to be too out of place.
And an effect like that, I love the impossible location thing because an effect like that, it has like an ethereal quality. I know it's not mentalism, but it feels like it's mentalism because it feels like it's real, right? I think that's what this mentalism sort of distinct from regular magic effects is that it seems like somewhere, somehow, it's in the realm of possibility that maybe, just maybe, that really just happened, right? And that you were able to control and make that happen every single time you're in front of an audience. This has like that sort of feeling to it. You know what I mean? I just love it, man. I love it.